Shocking if you don't know the story. Shocking because these things have been hidden in history, buried for a specific reason. But we are now seeking the truth so that we know. So there are other scriptures that we're going to look at in the genealogy of Jesus. But within the first 3 verses of the book of Matthew, within the first 3 verses of the New Testament, we find black folks. As long as we understand what we're looking for, and I'm going to show you how we know that. So it's the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, son of Abraham. Judah is the father of Perez and Zerah, whose mother was Tamar. Now, Judah was a person of color, if you're tracking with me. Judah is where we get the term Jew. That's where that comes from. Judah, let me read this other part, and then I'll bookend this story for you, and it'll make sense. This is Genesis 38, and said it came to pass, and at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Adulamite, black folks, black area, right? We're in Canaan land, whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, he's in Canaan land, whose name was Shua. And he took her and went into her. And she conceived and bare a son and called his name And she conceived and bare again a son, and she called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bare a son and called his name Shelah. All right. So here's what's significant about this. Judah has had 3 sons. And he chooses among the daughters of the women of the Canaanites, he chooses Tamar to be a wife for his sons. First son is evil in the sight of the Lord, and he dies. God deals with him. Second son is supposed to bring, and this was a tradition, the brother will bring up seed for his brother by impregnating his widow, his brother's widow. So she gets pregnant. I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself. So this brother puts his seed on the ground and doesn't impregnate her, and he dies. So there's one son that's left, and Judah is thinking in his mind, this girl's cursed or something because my sons keep dying, and that's the reason why. He's not focused on the fact that they're sinning. So he ends up going, he tells her, I'm going to give you my younger son, go be a widow, and when he gets old enough, you can marry him. So what ends up happening is when he's old enough and the time has come, Judah doesn't do that. So she disguises herself as a prostitute. Shows you how God will use anybody. She disguises herself as a prostitute, and Judah ends up impregnating his daughter-in-law, who, the 2 husbands of Judah's sons had died. So the boys that are named in Matthew chapter 1, that came from Tamar through Judah. So Judah, who's a person of color, gets with a woman who's a person. There's just this mixing that goes on a regular basis. But from the very beginning, even though we've got many more generations to come, from the very beginning, There is mixing going on between Ham and Shem that would bring about the one who saved us all. All right. So let's talk a little bit about how science